They think that betraying you will break you, that leaving you will break you. They smile as they turn away, thinking they have made the final move. But they don't realize that the moment they lose your presence, they also lose the protection you provide. Their mask slips, their illusions shatter, and life with its silent cruelty begins to take its toll. You don't scream, you don't chase. You just quietly disappear and rebuild everything they thought they destroyed. You are now the person they swore you could never be, untouchable, beyond their reach. Today we explore what really happens when someone betrays a good person and how life teaches them a lesson harsher than revenge. Through the lens of hardened wisdom, intelligence, emotion, and quiet strength, this is not just a story of betrayal, this is a story of transformation. Welcome to the hard life. Let it begin. 1. Betrayers rarely look back. Those who betray you often walk away without looking back, thinking they have won, that you are left behind, broken, and ashamed. But what they do not see is the storm they have unwittingly unleashed. A silent storm is not one of anger or chaos, but one that slowly builds inside you until it becomes power. Betrayal does not just hurt, it restructures something inside you. The deepest wounds never come from strangers, they come from those you once trusted the most, those who once held your trust as sacred and then discarded it as if it were worthless. What makes betrayal so heartbreaking is not just their actions, but the questions it leaves in your mind about love, loyalty, self-worth, even your judgment. You sit there in silence, wondering how you can't see how naive you are. Did you deserve this? But the truth is, you're not naive. You're sincere. You're not a failure. They are. They didn't appreciate the space you gave them. They can't reach your level of loyalty. The lesson here is that pain is the first teacher. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you suffer from anything external, it's not the event itself, it's how you handle it that makes you suffer." In other words, betrayal doesn't define you, it's how you handle it that does. You can let it destroy you, or you can let it build a new version of you, deeper, wiser, quieter, sharper. A familiar story when you've been betrayed. Imagine you gave everything to someone, your time, your sincerity, your energy. Then one day they disappear, or worse, turn their back on you. They tell others a story where you become the bad guy. Suddenly, the people you thought were your friends leave you. No explanation, no chance for you to speak up, just cold silence. You look at your phone waiting for someone to ask what happened, but no one does. And you sit there, leaning against the ashes of not only the relationship, but also of the illusions. The illusion that love always protects, that loyalty is two-way, that good people don't get hurt. What they don't expect is that you don't beg for mercy, don't chase, don't lose sleep or drown in sadness. Instead, you stand up in silence. They don't expect you to disappear not out of bitterness but out of clarity, not out of anger but out of self-respect. They didn't expect you to use pain as fuel, silence as strength, and they certainly didn't expect you to come back not to them but to yourself. In Stoic philosophy, the highest virtue is not strength but self-control. When betrayed, the greatest strength lies not in retaliation, but in restraint. You don't get angry, you don't write hateful posts, you don't try to expose them, you just sit with the pain, let it burn, and let it transform you. It's the kind of pain they never see, the kind of pain that turns into presence, turns into purpose, pain that is necessary. It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. If they hadn't betrayed you, you'd probably still be trying to please them, still explaining, still shrinking yourself to make them feel great, still pouring energy into someone who silently drains you. Their betrayal was a knife, but it cut the cord that was holding you back. Don't regret the pain. Don't wish it away. Cherish it, because it is the beginning of your rebirth. 2. Betrayal is not your fault. Let's be clear, their betrayal is not because you are too much or not enough. It is because they can't handle the light you bring. People don't betray you because you fail. They betray you because you were no longer manageable. The psychology behind betrayal doesn't always come from hate. It's about fear. Fear of your growth, fear of your standards, fear of your stability. Some people are addicted to chaos. They feed on drama, manipulation, and codependency. When they realize you're starting to think independently, speak up for yourself, and set boundaries, they panic. You become a stranger, a mirror of parts of themselves they're not ready to face. Instead of facing them, they run away, sabotage, betray. It's about their insecurities, not yours. Remember, someone's disloyalty is a reflection of their character, not your values. True story, the friend who can't be happy for you. You once had a best friend who grew up with you, cried with you, and shared your struggles. But then you started to change, progress, choose healthier habits, have a clearer vision. You stopped giving in, stopped accepting negative emotional currents, and suddenly they distanced themselves from you. Why? Because your growth makes them feel left behind. It's not that you make them feel small, it's that they refuse to grow with you. One day they leave you, talk behind your back, or make you look bad. They betray you because you become someone they can't control anymore. Take it seriously. Don't take it personally, but take it seriously. Epictetus once said that when someone behaves badly, it's because they think it's right. In other words, people betray not out of malice, but because they convince themselves that it's the right thing to do. Maybe they think they're too good for me. I'll hurt them before they surpass me. Or I'm tired of being compared to their progress. Their actions are not based on logic, but on ego. And you're shocked not only by their actions, but also the reason behind them. But that betrayal is a disguised defense. You may not realize it at first, but over time you'll see that betrayal is a divine filter. It weeds out people who don't deserve to sit at your table. They aren't meant to be in the next chapter of your life. Betrayal is not an ending, it's a correction. 3. The power of silence. There comes a moment in your healing journey when you realize that you don't need to argue, you don't need to explain, you don't even need closure. You just need silence. And silence isn't weakness, it's not avoidance, it's strength. Because when you stop participating in the chaos, you stop feeding what's draining you. Why are toxic people afraid of silence? For controllers, your silence is their biggest threat. They feed off of your reactions, your emotional outbursts, your defensiveness, your attempts to be understood. It makes them feel important. But when you are silent, they lose their power to manipulate. They can't twist what you don't say. They can't control a mind that's no longer playing their games. It scares them. You become the mirror they can't face. When you're still, you're no longer masking their emptiness with your energy. Suddenly, they have to face themselves. No one to blame, no one to provoke, no one to project their faults. For a narcissist, it's a nightmare. They'd rather destroy the mirror than look at it. You've probably experienced this moment, an accusing text, a call to try to justify yourself, or a note from someone who suddenly remembers your worth the moment you stop responding. For a moment, you're tempted to respond, to write the perfect response, to explain, to correct, to justify, but you don't. You put the phone down, breathe, and let the stillness speak for you. That's maturity. That's self-control. The hard approach, saying less means more. Epictetus wrote, "It is not the things that upset us, but how we interpret their meaning." In other words, your peace is not broken by someone's words, but by your decision to let them affect you. When you respond, you give weight to their words. When you are silent, you take away their power. The truth is, some people no longer deserve to hear your voice, not because you are punishing them, but because you are protecting yourself. Your silence says, "I no longer seek validation from people who do not value me. I refuse to fight battles that are not worth winning. I choose my energy over your chaos." This is not coldness, it is clarity. 4. What happens when you are silent with manipulative people? This is the usual chain reaction when you are silent. They scoff. "Oh, now you are silent." They provoke. They probably don't dare face it, do they? They make you feel guilty after all I've done for you. Eventually, they panic. They realize they've lost not only you, but the power they once had over you. That's when the game ends. Not with revenge, not with drama, but with a decision. You don't respond, you are still participating in the pain they create. Silence is not doing nothing, it is everything. Note, silence does not mean you don't feel anything. It means you have felt too much and decided that peace is more important than proving yourself right. You are no longer seeking justice from those living in denial. You are no longer here to win arguments. You are here to reclaim your life. If you are tempted to respond to a text, post a status, or let your emotions guide you, ask yourself, will this action bring me peace or just restart the cycle? If it is not in line with your healing, your values, or your emotional intelligence, let it go. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing. 5. They think they are free. They think they are free from the lies, the betrayal, the manipulation. They walk away as if nothing happened, as if your pain is collateral damage. But they forget that life keeps its bills, and karma doesn't come with fireworks or a bang. It comes quietly but surely. You don't always see it happening, but you feel it in the way their mask starts to slip, in the way the people they manipulate start to doubt their truth, in the way they live in the mess they created. The Stoic view is that karma is not magic, but cause and effect. Stoics don't believe in mystical justice. They believe in natural consequences. Seneca says, "Every sinner is his own executioner. No one escapes the weight of his conscience. You don't have to punish him. Life will do it." When someone lives dishonestly, eventually their lies become their reality. When they betray the faithful, they create a world where no one trusts them anymore. When they play with the hearts of others, they end up emotionally drained, surrounded by mirrors they dare not look into. The signs of collapse. You will see the cracks. You will feel the collapse, not because you wish them to suffer, but because they become the architects of their own failure. The signs are often that relationships around them start to fall apart, not because of bad luck, but because of poor character. They jump from job to job, from group of friends to group of friends, always blaming others. They are obsessed with their own reputation, unable to keep up the mask. They try to come back into your life because others finally see the truth you saw all along. A real-life story. The narcissist thinks he's won. Imagine a man who manipulates his partner emotionally for years. Gaslighting creates conflict, masking his cruelty with jokes. She eventually leaves, calms down, and builds a peaceful life. At first, he laughs. She'll come back. But this time, she doesn't. He quickly replaces her with a new relationship, flaunting his upgrades online. But behind closed doors, everything falls apart. He not only loses a woman, but the mirror that once made him feel powerful. With each attempt to replace her, he sees more clearly that it's not her who's broken, but him. 6. The transformation from victim to winner. When they betray you, they think they've destroyed you, but Stoic philosophy flips the script. You don't lose. You have earned clarity of mind, emotional resilience, mental strength, and the freedom to rebuild without their chaos. Their karma is to see you thrive in a life where their manipulation has no place. Your peace is the greatest justice, the most ingrained principle. Your peace is the proof. Your silence is the declaration. Your rise is the answer. You don't need to prove them wrong. You just need to prove that you are strong. And the day you stop wishing them pain is the day you truly win. Because nothing makes a manipulator more chaotic than realizing they no longer have the power to sway you. Peace is non-negotiable. Let them talk, let them post, let them act as if they have won. Because when the dust clears, when your name is no longer on their lips, you will still continue to build, heal, and become. And yet, they will still try to get a reaction from someone who has long since left the battlefield. That is freedom. That is emotional intelligence. That is your new power. If someone has betrayed you, let this be your turning point. Don't seek revenge. Don't fight to prove yourself. Be the person they never imagined you could be, unshakable, untouchable, and completely whole. Because in the end, nothing hurts a betrayer more than seeing you grow without them, and knowing that they are no longer part of the story they once thought they control. The question for you: what is the strongest step you can take to ensure a toxic person doesn't come back into your life? Was it a boundary you held, a moment of silence that spoke volumes, or a mindset shift that turned pain into power? Share your story in the comments. Maybe your story will inspire someone to take back their power today.